Lew Evangelidis is running for sheriff. We're very pleased that he could join us this morning right here on Wake Up Worcester. And Louis, we're just getting into the fact that there's such a cost to the community. There's a cost if somebody is not rehabilitated. And there's obviously, though, a cost to the rehabilitation as well. Tell me a little bit about that and the fact that it seems as if one of the great problems is that we have far more people in the House of Correction than it was designed for, and that's got to be a real cost and a drain on us here in central Massachusetts.
Well, the overcrowding at the facility has been well documented. It's a little bit down right now, but that's just probably a temporary thing. And yeah, the cost is extraordinary. One of the things I'm going to come into this race and hopefully into the sheriff's seat is that, you know, I am an independent. I've always been someone who's an independent, not part of the old political system, not part of the old machine. And I will say this, Hank, I'm not making a job promise during the campaign. I'm running for sheriff without making one job promise. I won't promote anybody without the merit to accompany the promotion. I won't take a campaign contribution from anyone who works up at the jail. And I'm hoping what that does, it gives me that independence that I've had in my life to go like I did as a representative and vote for the people that I represented, to go in there and do the job as best I can, to run the place as best I can without having to compromise myself in any way.
Do you think that you'll be accepted doing that? Because you want to talk about politics. I mean, there's the politics of Democrat and Republican and running for sheriff, but my understanding is that the politics inside the jail itself are just fierce. That the sheriff, you know, you get it from all different sides, including, of course, having to deal with the union. Yeah.
Look, there's definitely a frustration going on there right now. I will say this. Anyone who's ever visited up at the jail, or really in almost any jail, sees it's a tough job. It's a tough environment. All I can tell folks is I will not come in there with a lot of political patronage. I've never had it. I have the smallest staff on Beacon Hill. My Beacon Hill staff is one and some volunteers. And the reason is because the more you get from Beacon Hill, the more you owe them. And I don't want it. I hope I've established a reputation as somebody that kind of comes in. I'm frugal. I've always been that way personally, professionally. I believe you should do it that way. I have every intention of running that place in a frugal manner. I'm hoping, and that will allow me to maybe free up some money to try to get the place, you know, maybe try to help some of the people who've been working there and get compensated appropriately. But no promises. I'm going to do the best I can. I'm not bringing any baggage with me. I just want to take a fresh look at the institution. I will ask everyone who works there in time, what can I do to be a better sheriff for Worcester County? That's how I'm approaching the job.
All right, so now you're the sheriff. You're in there. You've got some prisoners who are hardcore. You decide that maybe you just can't reach them. I mean, are you walking this fine line between trying to decide who can I reach and they're not coming back here, and who do I just need to lock away to make sure that they aren't endangering us?
You better believe it, Hank. I mean, I will say this, growing up in a household where my father was a pretty hard conservative, my mother was more compassionate liberal, I would say that I've had a balance. And I will say that there are people that go into that county jail, I can guarantee you they're not going to be rehabilitatable. They have significant issues. If they don't want to help themselves, then we need to just make it very uncomfortable for them there and hope when they get out and they serve their time that they don't want to come back because it was a miserable experience. And I will do it, but there are other people, if they're willing to help themselves, we are ordered by court to offer programs. I want to make them the best programs possible, especially with drug and alcohol dependence. Try to get folks weaned off of that so when they go back to our communities, they're not committing crimes on us. And that's my goal, keep you safer. But I will mention one thing. There's one other element that comes up to the House of Correction, and I am talking about this, that there are illegal immigrants in this country today. If you commit a crime in Worcester County as an illegal immigrant and you come to the Worcester County House of Correction, I assure you I will do everything in my power to get to immigration and get you deported out of here, because it's an insult to every taxpayer that we would put up with illegal immigrants committing crimes on us and then having to pay for their incarceration. I will try as best I can to stop that.
Lew, tell me a little bit about how you'll win this race. Obviously, very popular state representative, somebody who certainly would have been the odds-on favorite to be elected for a fifth term. You leave what would be a safe seat to take on this and to run. I mean, what was it that drove you to do that, and how do you think that you get people in central Massachusetts, Worcester County, who may not be as familiar with you as those in your rep district?
Yeah, sure. Well, first off, I never ran for office until I was 40 years old. So I look at this and I say to myself, I have never served in the legislature, elected until I was 40. I had a career, you know, a prosecutor, state attorney, private practice. I decided to take on a new challenge because I like to live life like that. I took on a new challenge for 8 years. I was considering running for re-election like you would normally do. And then I thought of what else I could contribute. Where else could I take on a challenge? And when Guy Glotis decided to leave, to me, with my background, I said, I'm interested in maybe taking on this challenge of this. Now, I have ideas. This is what campaigns are about. So my goal is to go out and talk to, and you'll see me out there. I'll be holding signs. I'll be going door to door. I will be going to your neighborhoods. And my goal is to talk to you about my vision for the office and also hear what you have to say. Where do you think the role of sheriff should be? And I hope by running this campaign and reflecting what people want in the sheriff and with my vision of how you can do the job right, that's how you get elected. I'm not relying on anything other than my work ethic and my professional background and the fact I'm not part of the machine and I'm going to be innovative and do a good job. And if I can get people to look me in the eye and listen to me, I think I got a good chance.
I got to tell you, I think that there is just more excitement, not just for the sheriff's race, but for all the races in general in Massachusetts than I have seen in a long, long time. I've got to believe that that probably helps all candidates, but it seems to me that the fact that you're a Republican, we've had the Scott Brown phenomena, as people across the country are calling it, except for Worcester, Central Massachusetts went for Scott Brown in a big way. Have anything to do with your decision? You were already in, actually.
I was already in, but I will tell you this, Hank. I've been going around speaking to groups for many years now. I've never seen the energy and the compassion and the sort of excitement that I've seen in people. And this isn't just Republicans, but these groups that I'm speaking to about my sheriff race and the excitement that's being generated because people say, yeah, you know, I want to support somebody. He's not part of the machine. I'm ready to come on board. I am seeing excitement where I used to talk to groups of 20, now they're 50. Those groups used to be 40, are now 100. And they're excited. They're ready. I look at Scott Brown's election and I say 58 and 60 towns in Worcester County voted for what I considered someone they felt would do the job. I like to think I can fall into that model for the Worcester County Sheriff. And I've every intention of winning this race. But I want to win this race because I think I could be a great sheriff for us in Worcester County, and that's why I want to do it.
Lew Evangelidis for Sheriff. Lew, thank you for joining us this morning.
Oh, Hank, it was a real pleasure to be here.
Appreciate it. We'll have you back, of course, as the race continues throughout the summer and into the fall right here on Wake Up Worcester.